Good morning, church. Today is Thursday, May the 7th. Today I want to pass on to you a commission that we have been given, a job, if you will, that we are to do. Paul wrote this first to Timothy in the second letter that he wrote to Timothy. This is in 2 Timothy verses 3 through 7, and I'll read that to you in a moment. They were living in trying times. But they were also living with a burdensome message. It was something that they had to pass on to people. It was a set of information that we would come to know as the gospel. Even within the New Testament, it is called the gospel, the good news. Some wanted to hear it. Many did not. Some were openly opposed to those who would disseminate this information. Some were willing to do anything to stop them. But those early Christians had to get this message out. As disciples of Jesus, they knew that they had received the gospel that was a blessing to them and to all who would receive it, and that people's very souls depended upon them hearing this message. But they also knew that going public with this message could endanger their lives. It could threaten their families. It could take away whatever reputation they had in their communities. So Paul reminds Timothy, and consequently reminds us, about the strength of this gospel. Let me read you this and make a couple of comments. 2 Timothy 1, 3 through 7. I thank God, whom I serve with a clear conscience, the way my forefathers did, as I constantly remember you in my prayers day and night, longing to see you. Does that sound familiar? We're really longing to see each other right now. Longing to see you, so that I may be filled with joy, for I am mindful of the sincere faith within you, which first dwelt in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am sure that it is in you as well. Paul had a respect for Timothy and for his background. He knew Timothy. He knew his mother. He knew his grandmother. It kind of reminds me of the fact that we come to know each other. We may know each other's backgrounds more than the rest of the world knows their common neighbors. We learn about our families. And even as a spiritual family, we look at those older members of our congregation and those that have gone on before us, and we look at them with respect for the way that they carried on their role in being disciples, and they pass that on to us. So, Paul is commenting here, giving a respect to Timothy. But then he says, for this reason, I remind you to kindle afresh the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands. Indeed, as an apostle, Paul was able to pass on miraculous powers to Timothy. And he had instilled in Timothy a strength that would allow him to be a very powerful spokesman for the gospel. But beyond the miraculous power that Timothy had, there was this strength that was given to him that is shared among all Christians, including us. Verse 7, for God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but of power and love and discipline. This is a strong verse because it's reminding us that we have been equipped by God to carry out this great commission that he has given us. When he says that we have not been given a spirit of timidity, that word can also be translated cowardice. Those people at that time could have cowered in their comfort. So could we, if we would choose. They could have given in to the fear. So could we, if we would choose. But that's not who they were, and it's not who we are. We are not people who cower or hide or are intimidated by the world. And the reason? First of all, because we have been given power The word is dunamos, from which we also get the word dynamite. When you use dynamite, things happen. It is the word dynamo. It is the producer of a vast amount of energy that is generated. We think about things like great dams that hold back vast amounts of water, and as that water flows through those conduits, it generates electrical power through those motors, and it disseminates a great amount of power to a huge amount of area. This is the power. We're talking about power from God that is to be in us. When we apply this to people, for them, for us, it meant people who carry this power are people who are doers. They're people who get things done. These are people of action, not people who sit around and do nothing. And we've been given a spirit of love. Here's the agape love that comes only from God. This amazing power. It is, I think, arguably the most powerful force on earth, because we're combining the strength of this love that God has given us, that we share with each other, and we combine that with an emotional motivation. Truly, people who love are people who are willing to do anything they can to accomplish the good for that person or those people whom they love. And we have been given a spirit of discipline or sound judgment, some translations say. This is a powerful new way to think. It is good thinking toward a goal. So we put these things together. And we are not people who are living in cowardice with timidity, but we are people of power and love and discipline. Paul reminds us of what we've been given, and that we are not the people who live in fear. We are the doers. We are the conduit of God's power. We are the people who truly love in a way that the world does not understand. We have a new way to think. All of this is an amazing gift that God has given us so that His message might go out to all the world. So, church, our commission, not just sometime in the future, but our commission today, this very day, is to be the people that God designed us to be. I would encourage you this day, be the people, not of cowardice or timidity. Be the people of power and love and discipline. God has handed that to us and has said, now go, touch the world. Bye for today.